Welcome to Pro Bull Talk, where it's all talk and no bull. Get ready to slide and ride.
All right, let's go, boys. Hustle. Come on now. Let's go. Woo. Lay down now. Go to
This episode is brought to you by Sutherland Logistics.
Hey guys, I'm Cody Hart, and I'm with you here on the new podcast, Pro Bull Talk. We've got a new host here with us, Brandon Wren, and then, of course, the old favorites, Blake Skaggs and Briar Hart. Today we're going to be talking about the teams episodes. We've had, since the last time, we've had 3 great events. PBR is doing an excellent job with that, I think. They've had Nashville, Austin, and then just finished up in Oklahoma City. They've had some good action, some good rides, and we're actually starting to see some guys ride some bulls away from their hands. Guys, what have y'all been thinking about the teams? Have y'all seen an improvement in
Yeah, I have. The caliber of bulls are getting better, and guys are starting to ride some stuff. It's looking good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's really surprised me is the Brady bunch on Texas Rattlers, man. Them guys right there, I've seen them guys. Yeah, they've been riding bulls away from their hand, into their hand. Of course, they run the bulls. Every team gets a ranked bull and a eliminator.
But it don't matter to them.
It doesn't matter to them. Them guys have been showed up, and I didn't know who the hell they was at the first of the season. But I can tell you right now, the Bradys at Texas have showed up in a big way, I think.
Well, you got to see all the practices, all the conditioning, all that's starting to pay off. Everything they've been doing leading up. We're in 4 games in, and they're finally getting everything, all the mojo running, and things are starting to come together.
Everybody's clicking. Everybody's clicking together and coming around. I mean, you can definitely tell. It's just like any pro event. Beginning of the season, you're nowhere near what you are at the middle or more towards the end. Everybody's come together and making it happen.
Look at Nashville last year. Did they win 10 games all year and then show up to the finals and win the whole thing?
Right.
I think the coaches now they're starting to figure out the scenarios and certain things to help get their teams to a win because it's. Me personally, I would have the motto as all my guys are going to ride, so it doesn't matter who goes first.
Right.
Austin, they've got the 1-2 punch down there. Briar, you've talked about that a bunch.
The MVP, they're 1 and 2 in the MVP race.
Yeah, you got Jose and Dalton right there leading the pack in the MVP, but you've got to have that middle section there. And with Texas, you've got
that
Daniel
Brady
Keepin and JR on the ends, and then you've got the Brady bunch right there in the middle. And I think that's why Texas has been seeing a lot of success lately is because they're getting that middle part of the event success, the middle riders. They've really produced and come out. And I think the games that Austin have lost, the 1-2 punch, you had to ride 3 bulls and
they didn't
with
do
a 1-2 punch, you only get 2 rode.
Or the 1-2 punch didn't go 1-2.
Yeah, they may have rode 1 or
both
not.
Bucked off.
But then look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma has they barely. I mean, they've got a lot of wins. They're 9-7 now, 8-7, 9-7. They're 9-7 and tied for second and third in the overall standings. But look at their riding percentage. Look how many bulls they rode. They've only rode 19 out of 80, where Austin, Kansas City, and Texas have rode 31 of 80.
Yep.
They haven't. Oklahoma squeaked by on some one-ride wins. Or
they made some big
wins.
changes coming into Oklahoma, though. They got Caden Bunch. They got rid of Briggs.
Man, I think
don't
they
know
hit
what
a
they
home
got
run
for
when
Briggs.
They got Caden. Caden's been over there.
Went 2 for 3 right back.
Yeah, tearing it up over there on the pro rodeo side.
I don't know why they got rid of him a while ago
and just
last year.
Lighting it up. And Caden's a guy that it doesn't matter which way they go. He can ride them either direction. He's not one-dimensional. And, I really think a lot of that rodeo side, man, them guys, they don't get to pick them. They ain't got somebody picking them for them. It's a random draw. You got to ride what you get on. And I think them guys, the rodeo guys, are getting a little stronger than the one-dimensional PBR guys.
Look at Stetson, Sage, and Josh.
Yep. Absolutely. Them guys.
And Brandon, you've watched Caden grow up through the ranking scene from the youth side.
I mean, it didn't matter if he's getting on Holstein calves. Didn't matter. This kid has always been on fire his whole career. And I was wondering last year, like, what's the deal? They kick him off the team or whatever happened. He left the team, and then he comes back this year, and they bring him back on. gets the phone call Thursday night. Hey, I need you in Oklahoma City now.
Yep.
You're coming up to
and
the
just
big
to
team.
just to walk in and ride 2 out of 3. But back to Caden a little bit. Back when I had I was putting on an amateur bull riding series back 2010 or 11, 12, somewhere in there. I can't
Somewhere right in
remember.
there,
yeah.
Years go by now, so
He's getting old. You gotta
we was
forgive
in
him.
Sulphur Springs, and there was a little black bull on tour on that little mini bull tour called Mini Fly. And this little sucker would jump straight up in there in the gate and lick it and spin it. And I believe Jenny still got the video.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I've never seen a 90-point mini bull ride, but that one right there was. And I think he was like 91 or 92. And that could have been a couple short. And
Yeah.
I mean, just stuck it all over.
The ranker they are, the better he rides. He likes them.
Yeah.
He likes
Yeah.
them a little wild. And I think that was a great addition to Oklahoma Freedom. I think that's going to pay off in the long run.
I think Cord and Cody Lostro was very, very wise to get him back.
What I wanna know is-
especially with the loss of Derek Cobaba getting hurt
Yep.
and coming out. And Derek rides really good. He's kind of underperformed, I think, a little bit. I mean, he's had a lot of walk-offs, but he's had
That
a
was
lot of
last year.
buck-offs, and nothing against Derek. I like Derek to death, and I think he's a great bull rider. But I think with the addition of Caden Bunce, that team there just got a lot stronger.
Does anybody know what they got for trading Briggs?
I have no
Well,
idea.
yeah,
I haven't
either.
seen nothing on that yet.
I haven't.
PBR don't send us insider information.
No.
So what we get is kind of off the internet or what we pick up off the
Yeah.
TV ourselves. So, Oklahoma, I think, is looking really, really good. Texas, again, is looking really good. But I'll tell you what's really another team that has really jumped out there and showed something is that's Kansas City.
Yep.
That's-
Kansas
that's-
City.
Yep, JW's team. He's got them Brazilians living with him, and got Casio Diaz and them guys. And that Casio Diaz, he has come to town now.
Yep.
Yes.
And I mean, I think after Austin or up coming into Oklahoma City, I
He
think
only
he
bucked
was
off 3.
he was leading the MVP race, I think. Mm-hmm. And I mean, them guys, at the first part of the season, they were doing pretty good. First 2 or 3 events, they were doing pretty good. But I mean, them guys have gotten hot.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yes.
A couple of them boys coming from
Yep.
my neck of the woods too. You got Bob Mitchell and Colton
Yep,
and them
yep,
boys
Bob
from Missouri.
Mitchell.
And
Colton Hevelo and him.
Yep.
is Bob back? Is he hurt or is he back?
I think he's back.
I think he's back. I
I'm pretty
think
sure.
they use him like Texas used Cody Jesus. Just bring him in.
Right. Well, Cody's hurt, right?
Yeah, like they used him last year. Just
Yeah.
bring him in.
Yeah.
Work him through.
Yeah. I mean, and Kansas City, man, I ain't kidding you.
They've showed up.
I didn't know who them guys, some of them guys were. I mean, I knew a couple years ago who Casio was, just because some of the open bull team events we've seen him, and I think we used him one time at one of our deals with one of our teams. But I couldn't tell you for sure because a lot of them got the same name. Most of them names I can't pronounce, But I'm
Exactly.
pretty sure we used him or he got on one of our bulls at some time. But he showed up in a sure enough big way, and I tell you, JW's got that team rolling. He's got them firing on a lot of cylinders because they're riding a lot of bulls, and they've rode 31 out of 80. They're tied for second and third with Oklahoma for second and third in the overall team standings.
I think Glaramy's helped a lot with
Man,
that.
I think Glaramie, I think you're right. Glaramie has come in a major way. And of course, JW's even said it that he's that connection, right? And they talk, he can talk and communicate better with them, even though I heard JW on the podcast said he could order fast food in Portuguese. But that's a long step away from helping coach them guys. And I tell you what, Glaramie, I've always respected Glaramie. I rode with him a little bit. Of course, he was just coming in kind of as I was going out towards the end. But Glaramie has always been a class act, and that is another great addition to Kansas
Yes.
City. I think that might have been that missing link there.
Yep. That's going to be the game changer with that team.
Yep, I do too.
For sure.
There's always something about Glaramie. Even back when he rode, he was a fan favorite. I mean, people, they like Glaramie.
And he just
I don't know.
brings
It's just
that
a vibe.
atmosphere with him,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Not necessarily the hardcore, the hard ass Iron Man
No, the pick
mentality
you
that JW brings, and which that's fine. You need that hardcore old school mentality, but
he lightens it up a little bit. Laramie lightens it up. It has a little fun with it.
But Laramie brings that other side in too, and I think that makes it for a great mix with the hard side, with the old school way, and then you bring in Laramie. I think, man, that just with the personality that he's got, and
well, I think he's more of the gas pedal. You know, when you look at it, J-Dub's going to be the one that takes care of business, and he's going to be the one pushing the gas. He's going to push that gas pedal and push them guys to that next, that little bit more they need.
And the language barrier, you know, that plays a big part. I mean, to be able to get in somebody's ear, you know, when you're getting down in the chute and pep them up, or even in the practice pen or whatever, being able to communicate with somebody will help get it out there. Will help push them guys to another level. And there's certain, you know, even if you can talk a little Portuguese or they can maybe understand a little English, they're still not getting that full point.
Effect.
Yeah, they're not getting the full effect. Exactly. They're not getting the full effect.
It's all a mental game anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's a mental game.
Mostly mental
and if you ain't got somebody in your ear that you understand and can communicate with, then
they don't feel as comfortable.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
feel
not
like.
you're not getting the full effect. And I think Laramie brings that. Laramie brings that thing full circle, and man, they've had a lot of success, and Laramie I think was the missing link there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's definitely pulled them together for sure.
Yep.
But let's take a minute and thank our great sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Dennis Davis Bucking Bulls, Laura Crane, Sutherland Logistics, Blake Skaggs Bucking Bulls, and Creighton Stitch Company.
So we've got into, you know, we've talked about Kansas City, we talked about Oklahoma, Carolina Cowboys. I honestly believe them guys right there, that team is the most stacked team at all. They got the most depth with the most talent. I mean, proven talent, right? And I'm not cutting any of them B team guys on other teams or anything. Don't get me that way, but they've got more proven guys. I mean, you go back and look at at them guys they've got backed up. I mean, Trevor Castner, how many times that guy make NFR?
How many times has he been in contentions for a world title at the NFR?
Exactly.
And average titles at the NFR. And that guy can ride them either way. It doesn't matter. And let's talk about Trevor for a minute. That guy right there, the team's not a great deal for him?
It's perfect for him. It's like set up for him.
Yeah, because he's been trying, it seems like he's been trying to retire for like the last 4 or 5 years. And he'll go win Houston, or he'll win some big rodeo. And
then bump him right up in the standings.
and then bump him right up in the standings. And then guess what? He's at the NFR again.
Yep.
And I think the team deal is perfect for guys like him that want to stay in it, and they can sign a contract for good money and go get on, you know, something that goes into their hand and not have to get on them man killers, or the man killers. Sorry, I can't even talk this today. But Carolina seems to put him on some man killers every now and then, and it doesn't seem to faze him none at all.
No, he can handle them.
Yeah.
And they'll put him on him either way.
Yeah, they used him last year on a couple times. They put him on that Shazam of DNH.
Yep.
He was like 89 and 90 every time he got on him.
I thought last year he was with the Freedom.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure he was.
You may be right.
Because they used him at the finals.
Well, what was Oklahoma thinking getting rid of him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess because he wanted to come in and out, not be starter like they wanted him.
That may be. But Carolina's got him now and can fill in for, you know, even though Carolina is stacked as deep as they are, I think they have underperformed. I really think. I think
they've lost a lot of their top guys too.
Sage
in the first event.
You know, Sage went down, but again, like we was talking about, they've got stacked talent. They got NFR talent, PBR talent deep in their reserves, and I just don't think I think they've underperformed. I think they're better than what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's what
for some reason.
I figured at the beginning of the year they just wipe everybody out of the water. Nobody.
I thought it was going to be Austin and Carolina.
It was.
Yeah, I mean them were
hands
my
down
picks. You know,
after the draft, I thought, oh man, this is it.
A runaway.
Yeah, it's over with.
Man, after and what I don't know what Carolina does during the draft, but they won the first year. I think they had the best draft out of the first year, and then obviously I think I thought, what are they thinking getting rid of Mason Taylor? And you know, Mason I love Mason to death, and Mason's a rank ass bull rider, but Yeah, I thought they was crazy getting rid of Mason. I thought they was breaking up the A team out there. And after the draft, here comes Sage Kimsey and Josh Frost, and I'm like, okay. They traded one awesome kick-ass bull rider for two.
Exactly.
That's a pretty good trade in Carolina. They know how to do it out
Mason
there.
fits into Nashville better, I think.
I think so, and I think he was a great addition along with Kaiki Pacheco and Denner Barbosa. I think because last year when they won it, they was really just kind of a one-punch team with Kaiki.
And Silvano.
And Silvano. Yeah.
Because once they got Silvano, they started winning a little bit.
Yeah. And, and Silvano's a lot like Trevor. I mean, we never know. I mean, Silvano's getting a little long in the tooth, too, but...
He's got to be in the top. Is he still in the top 5 for MVP?
I think so.
Got to be close.
I can go look real fast.
And it's like, boy, he's getting up there in age. He's still kicking butt.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't forget about it. That's for sure.
Never
I mean,
can't put him behind the 8 ball. You put him behind the 8 ball, and he'll come firing on all cylinders every time.
For sure.
It's like, you got all these young guys, and he's keeping right up there with them. And what's he going to be? He's fifth, so he's still top 5.
Fifth.
So.
Yeah. I mean,
and how old's he getting to be?
He's in his 30s.
Upper 30s, probably.
Upper 30s,
36,
mid-30s, something like that. 35, 36,
yeah.
I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't do stats, so, I don't read up a whole lot, but it feels like he's been around that long anyway.
He's been around for a while, since 2010, I think.
Yeah.
Or before, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure him and JB come on the scene at the same time.
Yep, about the same time, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because JB won his first
they
title in 13,
battled it
right?
out there for a while.
Pretty close.
13, and then he won his next one in 15, so it would have been, he would have been a little before then.
Yeah.
But, he's played it smart. Silvano's played it smart if you look at it.
Yeah.
We've always questioned why he, waits till the timer's about to go out or why he don't take re-rides.
Yeah,
but
and
you look at the overall end of the year season, he made the best business decisions he could make to get him where he needs to be.
He won $3 million off of it, just off them, just playing the math game.
He plays the mental game. He knows the business side of
and
it mentally.
And going back to that is, not taking them re-rides, he might not beat himself up as bad too, and he's still going this hard this long down the road, and he's still as strong as he was when he came on. So maybe not taking them re-rides has helped him health.
Talking about re-rides, we can go back to Oklahoma City at the team deal, and Oklahoma got a re-ride. Somebody who was it that was 49 points? Alan DeSouza was 49 points.
Yeah.
I think it was one of him. I think it was DeSouza. It was
Is that they marked 23?
Yeah, no, he was 49 points. He got a re-ride
total.
Yeah, 49 and a half.
And Oklahoma declined or took the re-ride. And then the guy backed off. And I think
that hurt. I mean,
it come down to one bull. I think Oklahoma would have won.
49 points probably could have helped.
But I don't blame Cord for kicking that one out. You got to have at some point. You've got to have faith in your riders.
I love the grit that he put in with that bull, hitting everything and going down everywhere.
Yeah,
he never once looked out, never once got off. He stayed down and gritted it out.
How many times and opportunities did he have to check out and bail out?
The whole ride.
Yep. I mean, he could have checked, and nobody would have batted an eye. Not one person would have batted an eye. But talk about look out and get off. Who was the last rider out for Oklahoma to win that game?
Thiago Salgado. Bull went away from his hand. He checked out, landed on his feet. That
would as if I was a coach, that would not sit very well with me. I want to see more effort. I would definitely want more effort. Yeah. That was probably one of the few negative things that I've seen come out of there. I think the guys have stepped it up a little bit.
The look off, I think it's starting.
I think it is.
You don't see Cody Lambert's guys doing that.
Maybe it's because we talk about it. We brought it to light. Maybe
right.
Maybe they don't want. And Brendan Clark, he's brought it up. You got to keep your head stuck in there, and try to ride one. I think Brendan's a great asset to the broadcast team.
He lets the truth speak.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's that Aussie.
Yeah, that's
that Aussie.
No, he don't let it hold back. And
no,
I think the people's liking that too, because I've heard people around home say we like him in there talking. Like he's speaking the truth. He's
What
not
is
just
that, the 5 people that live
yeah,
in Missouri?
just the village,
5?
the village,
The little village you got up there. The village people up there in
Up in
Bunker, Missouri,
Missouri.
talking to Blake.
Yeah, we all come to my house to watch it. It's sports bar.
Yeah. But I think Carolina, has underperformed a little bit. But I think they're going to get their stuff together. I think Sage ain't going to be out too much longer, and of course I think he's going to bring another when he gets back in there. And
It's going to be like that Nashville.
because here lately
showing
it's
up
been
in
Cooper
Oklahoma.
doing most of the grunt work,
And that's killed their games. And I don't understand how Oklahoma can get away with it and Carolina can't.
Yeah, out of the 7 wins that Carolina's had, they've had 7 wins and 9 losses. Out of them 7 wins, I think is because of Cooper Davis. Maybe they'd have been the only guys. Maybe he's the only guy to make the whistle, and the other team didn't, or whatever. But I think at least 2 or 3 of those wins comes directly from Cooper because of Cooper. He generated them and whatever. And I think part of the 9 losses is
When
Cooper was the
butts
only
off.
one. No, or Cooper was the only one to ride a bull.
Yeah.
Josh Frost hasn't performed quite like Carolina wanted him to.
I want to say Josh is out with a concussion now.
Yeah, but before the concussion, he still didn't have the results that I think Carolina was looking for.
And Cooper, I think he really likes the team deal because man, he's one to have. It seems like he don't every year he performs to the top.
What's Cooper in the MVP? 4th or 6th or somewhere there. I know he dropped down a little bit this week, but
it still seems
Fourth.
like when it's time to do it, he does it. He gets it done for him.
Yeah.
And he don't back down.
No.
I think he does. He's doing great.
And someone
yeah.
else
And you-
that's underperformed this year, I think, is Dalen.
Dalen's been dealing with some injuries. I think you're going to see a lot of similarities with what Dalen's going through. We're fixing to see Mason Taylor go through.
Probably.
Because it was a growing injury, and then because I've had growing injuries when I was riding, and it's really hard to trust them growings, boys. I'm gonna tell you right now, when them growings, they'll jump up there and bite you now. And once you pull one and stretch one, it takes a while. And Dr. Tandy's told me, he said it takes a while. And it takes longer than that. He said, you can go back to riding after a certain point, but that thing's still going to aggravate you and bother you, and it's going to be a while before you trust it. And on Mason's first one, his feet popped out. I don't think he trusted it.
His feet popped out on the second one, too.
I think he had, Brusta or Brutus or something on his first one. And I think that was but Mason didn't get on any bulls either for practice coming into this. So he was.
And maybe it's because of that growing.
It could be.
I mean, because at his level, let's talk about it here. At his level, you should know how to ride bulls whether you've been off 2 weeks or not.
Yeah,
It
but
shouldn't matter.
I can tell you right now. A lot of people say it's like riding a bicycle, but I can tell you right now, your reactions slow down a lot. You've got to be able to react without thinking and be on the money, on the ball, getting it going. And you get a little behind, you get a little slow.
Which is like sharpening a knife. You got to keep the edge. You got to keep the edge. If you're off 2 weeks, 3 weeks, look when they used to have the big break. Some of them guys didn't go pro rodeo and then go chasing bull teams or any of that stuff, and they'd come back the first of the season and be a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
Got to put that edge back on them.
Yep.
And I mean, even 2 weeks. I mean, I wasn't at the level we talked about this before. I wasn't at the level Cody was, but I mean, growing injuries. Anything with your legs takes forever because that's where that's where most of your power goes is to your legs if you're riding correctly.
And you feel, if you're not squeezing on a bull, you're not feeling what he's doing underneath him because you're not riding by eyesight. You ride by feel. You feel what that bull is doing underneath you and what's making contact with the bull. Your growings, your legs are touching that bull. That's how you read and how you feel which direction he's going or what lead that bull's in or whatever. And when you got a growing injury, you're obviously not squeezing as much as you normally would. So you're not feeling what that bull's doing as fast as you normally would. And that puts you behind. And at this level of bulls, at this level of the game, that puts you
way behind.
Way behind. I mean, a hair behind.
I don't think there's many riders now, though, that ride by feel.
I think you're right and you're wrong, I think, because everybody rides by feel. They might try to learn by eyesight, but you actually ride by feel. I don't care what they say. That's like me when I blindfolded you. blindfolded you and had you get on a bull. You rode more. You could feel that more. We took one of your senses away. But I think a lot of we're not. That's a whole nother episode about how to ride bulls and get into that.
I kind of get where you guys are coming from. I did spank a bull this weekend.
We're
Saturday night for 90 points.
We're going to get that video.
Like that bull didn't have a heart.
It had a lot of heart.
It did not have a heart. It had a motor.
Exactly.
And I was spanking on it too.
I haven't heard about this one yet.
Yeah,
we're gonna try to get a clip of Blake at his house getting on.
Probably gonna start putting on schools.
Motor bull.
If anybody's interested in the BS,
how to ride a motorized bull.
Flank McCrankle school. Yeah, give you lessons on the old mechanical bull.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna try to get that clip out and on here, but we're gonna get back to the team as soon as we come back from talking to these great sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Sutherland Logistics.
All right, y'all butt aces now.
Keep going, keep going.
So we just watched you ride the mechanical bull.
You guys can laugh. But I spanked that bull, got off on my feet and my hand, stepped away.
I've seen ranker mutton busting sheep than that.
Oh, come on now.
Talking about it, so we just seen you ride that thing. You're showing pretty good form there, and you're from Missouri. Maybe you need to go to Ridgedale and talk to these guys and show them some form because, man, Missouri has, I don't even, they went to Brazil, right? And man, they got guys that nobody knew. I didn't know them. They went down there and
they bragged about it.
I understand their concept that they went down there and they thought they was getting, and they may have. It's yet to be seen. They picked up 4 or 5 guys down there that nobody unheard of and possibly rookies. I don't know. And man, here they are, and they come up here and they haven't performed. Obviously, by the standings and by the numbers, man, they've won 4 out of 4 games.
That kind of surprises me too. Cause
they're 4-12.
Well, last year they had a pretty good team, and then they just got rid of it.
Yeah,
they started off real hot last year.
They rode 13 really bulls out of 80.
And not real good.
That's a bad number.
That's kind of like Brandon's riding percentage from Hero, I think. Huh?
Pretty close to it.
Yeah, pretty close.
Couldn't ride a stick horse.
So I get where them guys were thinking, but I think they thought they might have had a home run. Obviously, they thought they was going to hit a home run with it. They have not yet. And these guys, at Oklahoma City, the guys started riding a little better, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe there's hope for them guys to come back and finish the season strong. They went 2-1 in OKC.
But do you think it's a transition? I mean, them guys, like you say, they're rookies. Maybe they've never been to the United States. Yeah. They've not been in this atmosphere. It's a total different level, no matter who you talk to. Of them Brazilian guys that's come up, I've quizzed them a bunch about how's the bull riding, how's rodeo down there, and maybe that it took them a little bit to get their motor running. Trying to get things moving
so you
forward.
Can get a couple of those young Brazilians, and then get you some Americans that are already used to these.
Or Brazilians that's already been over here. Get some existing guys. There were some guys in the draft that did not get drafted, and I'm going to go ahead and say their names. There was a guy by the name of Tyler Manor that was in the draft. He did not get drafted, and that guy has got talent. I don't know why there's not been a team yet pick him up. And there's another guy come right down from my neck of the woods. He's rode for me at bull teams. I've seen him. I've kept up with him. He went to one of my bull riding schools one time.
He was nice.
And I did not even really need to teach him anything because the boy already had it all figured out. Colton Burkhart.
Yes.
And that guy has showed up in a big way, and he is sticking it on everything. And he was in the draft down there, and nobody picked up on him. Them 2 guys right there were, I think, were the 2
and I know for a fact
missed picks
Colton,
that they didn't didn't take.
Colton went down to the training camp or whatever it was and rode everything they put him on.
That's what we hear. I don't know that for a fact, but I've heard that same thing. So I can't say that that's truth or not, but it would not surprise me if he did go down there and ride everything and just didn't get picked. I don't know.
And going back to the Brazilians coming over fresh, now tell me if I'm wrong, but did he come over just right before World Finals?
No,
he
he started in the
he
team
started?
season.
Yeah, he started
Okay.
in the team season, and then
Because I thought, well, maybe they're looking at that deal. Like, wow, he wasn't over here long.
And I agree. I think the Thunder thought Ross and Luke thought they was going to go down there and pick up some home run hitters,
Right.
and come up here. And I think instead of home run hitters, they got some strikeouts this year so far. Now, granted, like you're saying, they could turn into something. They get over here and they get acclimated and get in the rhythm with the atmosphere and everything that's going on. And I personally have never been to Brazil, but I know the bulls down there buck a little different. They hang a little more in the front. They're not. I don't think they're as fast as the American bulls. So it could be a swap change over there to something to go there. But I think Missouri was putting a lot of their eggs in that Brazilian basket, and I don't think they've been fertilized yet. Maybe next year. Maybe next year them guys show up and show out. Maybe this is a rebuilding year for the Thunder, even though it's the second
I don't know why they would be, because the first year they had a very good team.
I thought they
very
did too.
good.
I thought they had a good team.
I think they kind of got a bad run of luck at the finals.
I think so. Yeah,
and caused them to go out in the first round.
They were pretty strong,
but they was high up there. I think they finished like 5th. In the rankings?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can go back and look in a minute.
I think they did wind up 5th, maybe. Don't quote us on this because we don't know, but for sure. We're just trying to go off memory, and mine has been really bad. I'm getting old.
You're getting old.
He's
Where's his glasses at? Somebody.
These
I don't
are
know.
my glasses.
Brandon over
There it is.
Brandon over there's got more gray in his hair than you do.
Yeah, I use less color in a bottle. Maybe that's what
And I'm gonna have to go outside and get that guy's glasses too. Cause
my glasses are here.
Yeah.
They're in the truck.
Good. We'll get them, Ben.
So Nashville we knew was going to underperform, but the Thunder I really thought would be having a better season this year, and I think maybe Ross and Luke might have went down the wrong road to have success this year, right? I think they went the wrong way. I think they made a miscue there.
They definitely made it this year to where it is a rebuilding year.
Next year or two,
I mean,
boy, you better watch out. They might come firing on all
They
cylinders.
could be, but in the same breath, I mean, you're gambling no matter who you pick. If you really sit back and look at it, even you stack it up, guys can have injuries, mental issues, and this and that. Maybe, like I say, maybe these guys, maybe they're trying to get it for next year. They'll be the dominant team.
I don't think they've got the depth Carolina does.
No,
or even the Rattlers do. Even so we're talking. And I'm not even sure the Gamblers how deep their backup goes. They're not as deep in top tier or famous or whatever talent you want to call it that Carolina does. How many gold buckles does Carolina have?
2.
Well, there's 2 guys with world titles. And how many NFR average titles? You got Josh Frost in there. You got, them guys are pretty deep in talent. What I'm saying is in proven talent. Whereas the Thunder, their whole starting block did we even have any stats on them before they picked them? Or they was just kind of.
I hate to use the word no-namers, but
there was just some guys. Well, I can tell you, I didn't know them, and I keep up with bull riding pretty good. I'd never heard of them.
Exactly.
I don't watch a whole lot of Brazilian bull riding, but Luke and Ross, I know they went down there and did their due diligence, and they watched these guys. They must have been something they seen for them to bring them up here and do that. They just haven't
performed.
And I hate to keep saying that word, performed, but they haven't met the standards that I think Luke and Ross thought they was gonna be. It's
gonna take longer than what people think. Because I'd have a hard time if I went to Brazil. Like that'd be.
Yeah, I never went, so I don't know.
You're changing your whole culture. Them guys coming here. If we went down there, you gotta look at the same breath as, even if you go into other professional sports, them guys get them baseball players from Dominican Republic.
From all over the country,
and bring them over,
all the world,
grow them up. A few years, them guys are dominant.
Yeah,
but we talk about the mental game too. These guys are uprooted, run to the United States. Mm-hmm. They're away from their families. Mm-hmm. If they're married, any children, their whole
they don't understand the language.
Well, their whole life's upside down.
They need help.
They're trying to perform at 100%.
Well, hell, they need help ordering food at a fast food restaurant.
Wasn't
or
it like
whatever?
Joe say 2 years he never got to see his family or something like that.
Yeah, I think
Till he won his world title.
PBR did a special on that at one time about him.
I don't know about you guys, but I miss my mom.
We know.
We know you would, Blake. You still sleep with the night light and the door cracked.
No, I had Brandon come down and stay the night with me, so I didn't get scared.
He left the light and the TV on.
Now, going back to you saying Nashville's underperformed, I think that's due with injuries.
Yes, absolutely. And you had Mason and Denner and Kaiki out.
I mean, because
it was kind of understandable. You could kind of see why they was having struggles at the first of the year, and now that they're back, they went 2-1 this week, I think. So yeah, they jumped in there and snatched up a couple wins. They're 5-11, I think, is what that says.
Let me look for it. You mean look at it for you?
Oh, that's 5-11.
Okay.
So they picked up 2 wins, this week.
Yeah.
But the Thunder, they haven't been injured. They haven't been hurt. Their starters just have underachieved. They have not reached
the only one that has brought success to the table is Andrew Alvidrez.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's been hurt a lot this season too.
Yep, he sure has. But they rode 13 of 80. Man, that's harsh.
And about 8 of them probably come from Andrew.
You're probably right.
Probably close, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a Felipe or Flavio? Or
he hasn't rode one.
Something he hasn't rode a one.
He's been in every game, but has not rode a bull.
No, I think he rode 2. I think.
Pretty sure they was talking about it.
They was kind of unmemorable because I can't remember the rides, but it doesn't matter. I mean, a ride's a ride, and a ride's a ride, and it's different in the team's deal. A ride is a ride. Because you can take 270 pointers and it beats 190 pointer.
Yep.
All day long. All day long in the team series. So the strategies are different. And I think a lot of the coaches, from last year, I think they went from doing all the re-ride ribbon back and forth. If you threw a flag and wanted to re-ride or challenge this over here, the other side come right back and fought back. Well, they stopped a lot of that. And I think
isn't there a rule? It's like
there's a rule now. Yeah, there's some kind of rule. But I think the coaches have really come around and starting to see some different scenarios and things to make things work. And I'm going to tell you, be honest with you right now, man, I was really skeptical about the team series, and do I think it's as good as the Gold Buckle season, the UTB season? No. I'm still, that's my favorite. That'll always be my favorite. And but I like the team series. It is different. It changes it up. And
what I think the best thing is about the PBR teams deal? It brings a whole new level of spectator to the playing table.
Absolutely. It brings a whole new level of
you got us diehards that, I just didn't watch Unleash the Beast myself.
Yeah.
I've watched it since day one. But I've got people now that's like, oh, you're in the bull riding world? You're a rodeo announcer? Man, I was watching this teams deal. Man, because they're sports fanatics. They watch the football and the baseball.
Do sport bettings.
Yes. And so now it brings those guys to the table, and I think it's helping to unleash the beast tour in the end.
Yeah.
Them guys are now now they got another series. What's this about? So they're watching that. I think it's a great move they made,
and it's good for the riders,
for the fan base.
Yeah,
for the fan base.
Yeah, and you can take. And it's almost like guaranteed money. You get signed to a team, they sign a contract. The bull riders know, hey, I'm gonna get paid this much. I'm guaranteed this much, unless I break this contract or whatever. But you're guaranteed so much money, and then plus what you win a little bit in some of the deals. I think teams is good. There's a spot out there for teams. Do I think it should eventually overshadow the Unleash the Beast season, the Go Buckle season? Absolutely not. No. I think you stick with stick with the girl that brought you to the dance.
Dance with who brung you.
Dance with who brung you.
One day you'll get that, Blake. One day.
Yeah.
I've already been there.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for them baddies.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
I've seen yours, Blake.
Yeah. But overall, man, I'm really getting into this team season, this team series. I could still do without the cheering and the overselling of things, but I have kind of noticed since we brought it up in other podcasts that's kind of toned down just a little bit for some reason. Yep. I don't know if it was us or we had something to do with it. I don't know. They would never give us that credit anyway. But, hey, if it changes, that's all that matters, right? Yep. So, yeah, I like the team season. I think it's going good. I'm excited to see where it's going. And hey guys, y'all like this episode? Tune in. We're going to keep doing it, keep punching it. We're going to have teams episodes. Stay with the teams and follow them all the way through the finals, and then we'll roll over into the UTB season and stuff. So, hey, be sure to go on all major podcast platforms. Give us a like, give us a listen. And remember, this is Pro Bull Talk. We've moved on from Beyond the Buckles. We're no longer affiliated in any shape, form, or fashion with them. We went to Pro Bull Talk. It'll be the same great show every time, same channels. Be looking for us on all social media, and always give us a like and a listen. And till next time,
adios.
See y'all.